Gardner with Texas AgriLife Extension Service, and welcome to Dinner Tonight. Today I am going to share one of my family's favorite recipes with you, Italian shrimp fettuccine. We're going to start by putting 1 tablespoon of olive oil in a skillet, which I've already done. I've got that warming there so we can get ready to put our garlic and our shrimp in. We're going to take 2 cloves of garlic, and we'll just sprinkle those in. And this is really going to add the flavor to the dish. To that, we're going to add 1 pound of fresh shrimp. Now, what I did was I actually bought the large shrimp because they were on sale, and they were so large, I decided to cut them at least half, and some of those are actually cut in thirds. So we're going to get that started, and this is going to saute for about 5 minutes. We want to get our shrimp done, and you can usually tell when it's done by when it becomes pink or opaque. It doesn't take shrimp long to cook, so be very careful when you're cooking and not overcook it. So as we return to our shrimp, we're going to keep sauteing it. It's almost done, but not quite, so we want to make sure that it gets thoroughly cooked. I will tell you that shrimp has really gotten a bad rap by a lot of people. A lot of people think that it's just high in cholesterol, and it is higher than most, maybe shellfish, but it still is a great way to add omega-3 fatty acids in the diet, which has been proven to really help with our heart health. So as we begin to finish these up cooking, we're going to leave everything in the skillet. Another reason I like this dish, it is a 1-skillet meal. We like those a lot in our house. Finish that up. And what we're going to add to this is a can of Italian-style diced tomatoes, or basically diced tomatoes that has basil, oregano, and garlic in. So we're going to add a little more flavor with the garlic. Now, I will tell you, you want to be careful, especially if you are suffering from or maybe have a risk of high blood pressure, because this is going to be higher in sodium than many of us would like to have. So you may want to choose a low sodium or no sodium version. One of the things about choosing that, though, is a lot of people think it doesn't have enough flavor. So if you don't think that the sodium-free or low sodium version is what you like for its taste, then you can always add a little more oregano or a little more basil or garlic just to increase the flavor without increasing the sodium. So as we finish this off, we're going to simply turn down our heat to just a low. And then we're just going to pour this in on top of the shrimp very carefully. Pour that in. And then I'm going to actually increase the heat again to around medium and begin to stir this around. And what we want to do is we would like for this to simmer for about 5 minutes. There's no need to cover it. You can just leave it simmering just as it is. So we will do that, leave that there. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the other ingredients that we're going to add to the dish. The next thing, after this simmers for about 5 minutes, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of half and half. Now, I will tell you, when I first had this recipe years ago, it's not an original recipe. I had to tweak it a little because when I first had this recipe, it called for a 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream. Now, I'm not going to lie, it was very delicious, but the heavy whipping cream really brings a lot of fat and calories to the diet and to the dish that we really don't need. And so as I tweaked it to make it a little healthier, I found that using the half and half was just as good. You don't sacrifice a lot of flavor, but you do cut out a lot of calories and fat that we don't need in the diet. So as this begins to simmer, I'm going to stir it there a little bit, and then I'm just going to simply take the half and half, and I'm going to pour it in. One thing we don't want this to do is we don't want it to boil. So I'm again going to reduce the heat to a low and make sure that's stirred through very carefully. And this dish reminds me of a lot of something you might see in an Italian restaurant, but again, it's very economical. Even with the shrimp being a higher priced ingredient, you're looking at about $2 a serving on this dish. And you're also looking at about 211 calories per serving, which is very low calorie. And so again, when you go out to Italian restaurants, you can't always control the calories that you're getting, especially the heavy cream sauce dishes. So it's better to be able to cook at home through recipes like Dinner Tonight offers and control those yourself. And again, watch your waistline and watch your heart. Be appreciative of that. I'm going to add in a 1/2 cup of sliced green onions. I have sliced the white and the green part of the onion. And again, that's going to add a little flavor there. Just stir that around. And again, we don't want this to boil, but what we do want it to do is just to heat through. So we're going to leave that on just a minute or so. And while that is heating through, I'm going to go ahead and plate my dish. And I have chosen fettuccine noodles. I will tell you, these are just regular plain fettuccine noodles. You could also choose the whole wheat version, which would really supply a lot of fiber that would increase in your diet. You could also even use the spinach fettuccine. I just happen to not have any of those on hand, so I chose to use the regular instead. So I'm going to plate this up right over here. Some noodles. And then we're going to get ready to put our sauce right on top. Okay, we're just going to continue to stir this. Again, it's beginning to heat through. We want to make sure that we get that thoroughly heated so all the flavors really combine and meld together to make it a great dish. So once we have gotten that thoroughly stirred and heated through, we're going to take our dish here. Again, we've plated it with our fettuccine noodles. I've also added just a fresh green spinach salad with some yellow bell pepper and tomatoes. And we're just going to simply toss the sauce on top. And we want to make sure we get lots of that shrimp and great tomatoes in there. Don't want to cheat anyone, so let's add a few more shrimp, because I will tell you that shrimp is probably my absolute favorite seafood when it comes to that. So a very tasty dish that I even like to sometimes call company Italian fettuccine, because if you have company and you serve it, they may think you're a gourmet cook that's been hiding out in an Italian restaurant somewhere. So there you have it, a great economical dish from Dinner Tonight. We hope that you always search Dinner Tonight for great new recipes for your family, and you can also log on Facebook and find us there.